Common myths about training. Hi everyone, my name is Bukky and welcome to Coffee Couch and Conversations. We're going to be looking at a lot of myths that we all consider or think about when it comes to training. I can tell you for free that the very first one we're going to look at is what you also see as a common myth to training. What is that myth? What is that thing that we feel training does? I would say the first thing we believe when it comes to training is the fact that the training fixes everything. Trainings can't fix everything. There's so much more to performance or whatever it is that you're trying to close besides training. The reality is that training helps. Why are we even training in the first place? We're training because we've identified a gap, right? A skills gap, a knowledge gap, a performance gap in the workplace. Now we've identified certain trainings that we're going to use to close these gaps, right? Perfect. But after the training, what next? The training is not a magic wand that just fixes everything like you and I think. No, the training is supposed to help push that individual to more performance, to better performance, to accelerate action in the workplace. That's the reality. That training cannot end there. A lot of employers feel like because they've invested heavily, we've spent so much training our employees. That's great, but training cannot be one-off, which is what a mistake a lot of employers make. They feel like once they've done that one training, that is the solution to world peace. Everything must be perfect thereafter. It does not work that way. Training is continuous. It's ongoing. It's like Six Sigma, continuous improvement. We have to continue training, especially because we're in an evolving world, an evolving society. Something is great today, but by tomorrow it's outdated. It's no longer relevant. So how do we keep up with modern trends and times? How do we continue to improve on our performances? We need to continue to train ourselves and train ourselves. We also feel like training is only for a particular set of people, those that we've identified to have gaps. No, training is also good for people that maybe don't even have any gaps that we've identified, but just to keep up with the common and the norms and everything that is happening with society, the trends, it's good to upskill yourself. There's something in human resources that we call learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what training really does. It helps us to learn new things. It helps us to unlearn some of the things we thought were relevant and are no longer relevant. And it helps us to relearn some of the things we already know that are still pertinent and relevant in the workplace today. Another myth that we have when it comes to training is that training helps solve that one particular problem. That is not true. Because sometimes if you look at training holistically, when you measure different metrics in the workplace, you will find out that training has even changed your mindset. And we weren't even doing a training on mindset change. Do you understand what I'm saying? So training does not fix just that one particular gap that we've identified. Training can be seen as a holistic solution to certain problems in the workplace. Employees usually have a change mindset or a change mind frame, when they go through that training process. Training also helps to build teamwork and camaraderie in the workplace. There are many times when I was in a 9-to-5 that we would have trainings where different members of different units and departments will participate in that exact training. It helped build a strong bond and relationship. These are colleagues I never knew existed. I didn't even know this department existed in the organization. But because of that training, we met each other, we developed and established a relationship, and we were able to leverage off each other's strengths. Over the course of my career, I needed someone in this department, for example, treasury. And I remembered, I met a colleague in the training we went for last year. I picked up my phone, reached out to her, and that was the beginning of my success story for that particular problem. So training has so many added benefits, but we need to understand that it cannot solve world peace. It's not the solution to everything. There's sometimes that we identify gaps in talent and performance, and training is not the actual solution. Coaching is the solution. So sometimes we feel like if we just train them, they will be fine. No, sometimes training does not solve that problem. We need other things to close or mitigate those gaps. Coaching, like I mentioned, is one of them. So as great as training is, I am pro training. I am an accredited facilitator. So I do go out and train all the time. But one thing I see is that people don't take training seriously because they feel like after this training, number one, it's an easy way to get out of work. Number two, it's a fast way to get per diem or out of station allowance. And number three, we can stop whatever it is we're doing to focus on this particular training. But that's not right, and that is not true. The truth is that when we go for this training, who is doing the monitoring and evaluation of the outcome of those trainings? A lot of times we don't do that as organizations. We just send our employees to the training and we call it a day. What about the return on the investment? Because we've spent a lot of money. If you're going to hire me to facilitate your team, you're going to spend some change. I can tell you that for free. Now, how do we get the return on the money we spend having Bukky facilitate our employees? There has to be a follow-up call to action on the training. Someone has to be able to measure. There has to be measurable indices that we can actually put in pen and paper to say that, okay, we were at 5% prior to the training and post-training, we're now at 20%. Change and growth happens gradually and incrementally. You can't expect, like I said, that training is a magic wand and suddenly all our problems have been solved or fixed. No, because again, training has to be continuous. So stream 1, stream 2, stream 3, go back to reiterate on stream 1, back to stream 2, etc. We need to continue learning. We need to continue improving ourselves. And even internally, if you look at systems updates and process updates, that is kind of like we're training our systems internally as well. We don't say because we started off in 1989 doing X, in 2025 we're going to continue doing X. No, we improve our methodologies, we improve our strategies. That is like we're training the organization as well to do better and to improve. It is the same mindset we have to have when it comes to closing those capacity gaps with our employees, which is typically why we have these trainings. And then for technology is so advanced. Artificial intelligence is what everybody is talking about today. How do we learn about this artificial intelligence? What is artificial intelligence? How do we leverage on artificial intelligence to improve our processes and our systems in the organization? How do we use that to bring in new clientele and profitability into the business? Again, some of the ways we can engage in these things is through trainings. We need to upskill our employees, but employers, I plead with you to understand that trainings cannot be one-off. Please, let's train and retrain our employees. Let's invest in our employees. They're bringing so much revenue into the business. They're doing so much for us to grow. Let's invest in them as well. But employees, this is also for you too. Invest in yourselves. Don't wait for your organization to invest in you, because when you invest in yourself, nobody can take that away from you. If you leave an organization A right now, they won't say, oh, we spent 10 naira on your training. Leave that training back with us and be going. No, you've taken that knowledge. Nobody can take that away from you. So while you're waiting for your organization to invest in you, you also make that investment in yourself, because once you have it, no one can take it away from you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are just a few of the myths we've shared concerning training in the workplace. Do you have any myths that you believe in that, is the impact of training or training has an impact on? Let's hear them in the comments. Please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye.